How's it going, everybody? My name is Joshua Klein. If you do not know me, what I do is I help build the proper funnel systems and scale through something called funnel operating. And I'm going to walk through you in this entire video the best funnel system that I use for all of my coaches and consultant clients to make them 5, 6, and 7 figures per month. And you're going to get direct access to this. At the end of the video, I'm going to explain what I do in terms of funnel operating, and you're going to get direct access in other videos and how I can teach that to you. So if you're interested in learning more about funnel operating and how it can benefit you after learning about it briefly at the end of this video, please comment below if you'd like to see that, and stay tuned for this video and other videos in the future. Welcome to the board. And before we go into anything, you might be asking me, why trust me over anybody else? And that's for a huge reason. And it's that I've actually done this multiple times before, and I've worked with some pretty killer clients and partners who you definitely recognize. A couple of them. One of them is Anthony Nucci. We scaled his real estate coaching offer from $15K to $218K cash collected in just 90 days. And for someone similar, Sire Abram, we transformed his trading offer for Vantage Education from $40K to $192K cash collected in only 28 days. So yeah, I've done this a couple times. So let's get right into it. First thing, before anything at all, there are 4 methods of acquiring clients. If you're wondering, first method is ads, second is outreach, third is content, so inbound, fourth is referrals. And I did not include referrals in here because 99% of the time referrals will go straight to booking a call after your friend or your partner gives you an introduction to this person. They'll skip this entire process and go right to the sales call. And they trust you more because they have some rapport built up with you because they trust the person who introduced you to them. Now, for this first one, for ads, there's 2 kinds of ads. The first one is called a static ad. The second one is called a creative ad, which is basically more of like a short form content ad. The static ad is just a flat meta-based ad. It doesn't have to be based in meta, but it's basically just a static ad, something that doesn't move at all. There's no talking. It's just a board with copywriting on it. So in this ad campaign 1, I usually like to test 2 different ad sets with multiple different statics. And I have different headlines and also primary texts because testing is so important. It's crucial because you can't just know what's going to work. If you just test one thing, maybe it's okay. You test another thing, maybe it's trash. You don't know. So I run multiple statics at once. And for the ad campaign, for the second one, for the static ad, I have 1 ad set instead of 2. I have 1 creative ad going for the ad set. And I have basically a different hook through each kind of ad set, through each creative ad, because it's a lot more complicated, obviously, to change the entire creative ad. It's a lot easier to change the static ad instead. So what I do basically is I change out the hook 3 to 5 different times, testing it, running it maybe at the same time, and seeing what performs better. Keep the body the same, keep the CTA the same, but basically just change the hook to see what attracts your lead's attention even more. And same thing for here. In Meta, you're going to try to test 3 different headlines and 2 different primary texts. The next form is going to be content. And this is super important because, as I'm sure you know, it's 2025 and building a personal brand is maybe the most important thing you could possibly do right now to monetize yourself short-term and long-term. So when you're creating content, I like to do 3 different things. You have long form, which is like YouTube, which is, this platform you're seeing it on. You have X posts or maybe even LinkedIn. You also have short form content, which is going to be your Reels and your TikToks. And these all basically attract different audiences. And you might be surprised that long form and X posts actually attract more of a similar audience than short form to long form or short form to X. Reason being is because people scroll through TikTok and, and Instagram very rigorously, very frequently, and they're not looking for straight value. They're looking for entertainment, short dopamine bursts. So on TikTok and on Instagram, you're probably not going to get as many high quality leads as you will on X or on YouTube. So I tend to prioritize content, especially for coaches and consultants, helping them out for long form content and also X posts. X posts, you can shit talk a little bit. You can shit post. It's fine. You do want to build some kind of personal brand on there and also, showcase and just give as much value as you can in written form. But long form, especially for the coaches and consultants I'm speaking to right now, is super important to let people know exactly what you're doing and bring in an abundance of inbound leads. Last one is going to be outreach. And as I'm sure you know, you've probably done outreach before. Maybe it's worked for you, maybe it hasn't. I like to incorporate all of these things a little bit. When you get to a certain point when you're a coach or a consultant, you can probably stop the outreach, lean and scale with ads, because you can only scale with ads eventually to some certain point. But with outreach, I like to test what to do. And I have two different testing metrics here. The first one is volume-based. The second one is value-based. Now, when I say volume-based versus value-based, volume-based basically is testing different hooks, different DMs or emails, whatever you're sending it on. It could be email, it could be Instagram. I prefer Instagram personally, especially for coaches and consultants looking for leads and clients. Volume-based basically is giving them, asking maybe for permission to send something. So you would send them a somewhat personalized message, maybe with their name, but you wouldn't send them a bunch of upfront value. You would basically ask permission to send value. Now, value-based is going to spend a lot more time invested in the message. So you're going to really, you're going to say their name, something you liked about maybe their content or what attracted you to them, and also give them some free work up front. And please, please, please make sure this free work is actually really good, because otherwise you're just going to look like you're shitting yourself in the foot. So please make sure your free work you're providing is very good. So test volume, test value, and maybe test a mix also of volume and value. Some happy medium there. That wouldn't be a bad thing to do either. Now, the next thing is going to be the opt-in page. And this is somewhat important because the goal of the opt-in page basically is to get people to the next step of your funnel, which is, your landing page, which I'll share with you after. And the opt-in headline should be very similar to your landing page headline, make it look very similar and very appealing, speaking, to your target audience with what kind of value and transformation you can provide to them. And really the whole point of the opt-in page is just to get leads. So when you look back at the ads you're posting, you should make sure you collect leads through your meta ads, because you basically can run something called a triage call, which is calling your lead after they opt in to your opt-in page or to your ad in about 3 to 5 minutes to take them to a much faster sales call, so they don't go through this entire process, get lost in the sauce. A triage call, basically what it does is it qualifies this person, asks them some questions early on, and since they're already building up some intrigue right now, they're probably already interested in what you're selling. So you got to hit them while they're still warm, and not when they die off in a couple of weeks when they book a call. You want to make sure they're warm, and then if you can get them on a call as soon as possible, do that so they don't have to go through this entire process. Make it as easy for this client as humanly possible. Now, the next thing you're going to do is basically run through this landing page. And the landing page is maybe the most important part of your funnel. And if you need help building a landing page, please reach out to me because I build them for a living. I'm very good at them. So what you're going to have is a layout similar to this, basically. It's going to be a call out, coaches, and for me, it'd be coaches and consultants making 10K plus per month. For an online fitness coach like you, maybe, it might be people, postpartum moms wanting to lose weight or something. It would be a very targeted demographic that you're trying to target to attract these people and make them feel a lot more resonated with what you're trying to sell them after, with what service you're trying to provide. And you're going to have this offer statement as well, which basically explains deeper into the transformation you're going to provide for this call out. You're going to have a subheader probably to explain to reach down to listen and watch this VSL. And the VSL it's very important. Many people tend to neglect some kind of VSL, but it's very crucial. I've tested multiple things, having a VSL and also not having a VSL. And running a VSL almost always converts at a higher rate because you build some kind of personal connection with somebody because they can literally see your face and you're explaining to them why they should work with you, your credentials, maybe your case studies, how you can help them transform, the kind of money you made doing what you do, and how you're trustworthy. Not having a VSL doesn't build that personal connection with somebody that having a VSL does. So almost always, if you can, run some kind of VSL. And on top of these absolutely must-haves, there are a couple of other ones, and I didn't just build up the rest of this diagram here because you can place these in different spots. There's no one place to put a partner or client portfolio. I like to do it now right below the VSL, but it varies person to person. Same thing with case studies, testimonials. about you, what you do, what service you provide. Make sure also you have 3+ CTAs. Make it so easy for your client to follow through this funnel and purchase your service. Also have at least 3+ FAQs, frequently asked questions that people might ask for you. Answer them below. That is definitely going to be more of a below thing, but all of these are going to be somewhat scattered throughout your funnel. You're also going to have nice to haves. And, as I'm sure you can read, they're not required. Some people tend to run them, some people do not, but they're going to be basically addressing the market problem, what issue is happening in the market right now, and why you're qualified to solve this problem over anybody else. You're also going to have your story, because this basically just builds resonance and relates people to you, builds some kind of authority and also authenticity to your audience. You're going to have qualifications as well, potentially. I don't always like to run this. If you have a much higher lead conversion rate, you might run this to basically qualify people with logic, or if you don't, then I would recommend not running it at all, really. We're gonna have qualifications. For me, basically, it's coaches and consultants already making 10K plus per month. That 10K plus per month gets rid of people who aren't making that target, MRR essentially. So you could have that. You're also gonna have a guarantee. Not super important, but if you want to, especially if you're a newer coach or consultant, having some kind of guarantee just allows you to build up more trust with this person. If they do spend your money and you don't provide to them, it just gives them that peace of mind that they'll get their money back. Pricing as well. Please only do this if it's low or a mid-ticket sell. If you're just like selling some kind of course, or if you are a consultant selling it in your funnel, do not sell any kind of high-ticket coaching mentorship on the funnel, because people are going to see that and get discouraged by the price point. Only give them the price points at the end of the sales call. Do not do it before then. You're also going to have offer and value stacking as well. Now, the next thing you're going to have is the confirmation statement. And this is going to be what happens basically after you're going to the call book page. You're going to have the confirmation statement, which goes down to the next steps to take a video, which basically positions you as an authority and pre-handles objections before a person gets on a sales call. Again, this is just the call books page, what happens after someone books a call with you. So this confirm to calendar and email inbox, I like to run as well, basically right below the video here. Just a screenshot of like your pointer or something, clicking the confirm or yes in the inbox for the meeting, just so people actually get that notification to follow through with the booked call. And then any other next step to take, and any other CTA as well. Some of you coaches and consultants, you might be running some kind of community. So you can maybe run your WAP or your Circle community or Discord or Slack here as well. And before I forget, I did want to mention, looking back at this funnel here for the landing page, some people tend to run what is called an application system. I like to use Typeform. It's just super easy to customize and looks very recognizable, so people tend to resonate with that more. I like Typeform. I don't currently run it because I'm not working with an overload of clients right now. But if you are a coach or consultant with an inbound of leads, basically, you want to run some kind of application system to funnel through the leads. Just to make sure that you're not wasting your time on calls with people who aren't qualified. You want to have a logic-based application system. Again, ideally a Typeform application that basically, dequalifies or qualifies people to hop on the sales calls, so you don't waste all your time taking sales calls with unqualified people. But only do this if you have an inbound abundance of leads that might be qualified. If you don't have that many book calls or your calendar is not filled up, I don't recommend doing this. Just have your landing page go straight to some kind of call booked page. Do not have any kind of friction in the middle of that, running some kind of application system. Back to this, after this client or this lead, books a call and they get referred to this call booked page, you want to have different reminder sequences. You're going to have an email sequence after you collect their number, and also a text sequence after you collect their number. You're going to have a call confirmation email, basically saying that their call has been booked. Before the call, you're going to have a 24-hour reminder email, and this goes down as well for 8 hours and 1 hour. Now for the text sequence, you're going to have the same thing that you got the number from, a text confirmation a call confirmation text. You might have some kind of introductory selfie video explaining things through the text message about what to prepare for, what they can expect, etc., and also a reminder video with pre-framing material. And also make sure, this is pretty crucial as well, you'll have a lot of people who tend to miss their appointment because maybe they're scared, maybe they do forget. It's super important to text and call this person 1 hour before the call, even if they haven't called you with any questions. Please call this person if they haven't been answering any of their texts. Same thing kind of goes with the triage call. When they're warmed up, they're a lot more likely to answer and respond because they're interested. So take the chance now, while they are somewhat warm, getting your messages, to call them as well so they don't miss your call. And after this reminder sequence, obviously it's going to lead to the 1 hour and then eventually to the time of the call. You're going to have the sales call. On the sales call, you as the coach or consultant, if you're taking the calls, maybe if you have a closer, high-tech sales closer, they're going to be taking this step. If you don't, you're going to be taking this step for yourself. And on the sales call, please make sure to do the majority of the sales closing. You don't want to have the client or the lead talk their ear off, because it basically it removes the value of what they're getting out of the sales call. You want to make sure you're providing as much value as possible. Forget price at all. Just try to provide as much service and give as much to this person as you can so their objections don't even come up. And if they do, just frame them at the end of the call. Don't worry about price. Don't worry about anything. Try to give as much value as you can, and promise you'll get a lot more conversions in this. And once you close, you're going to send this person the contract after you've agreed to all the terms and everything, and then begin the next steps of the onboarding call after you've prepared everything for this person that you think you need to prepare. And then you're going to implement the funnel system for this person to build out. If you are a coach or consultant, maybe coaching another coach, you'd help them build out a proper funnel. If you need somebody to build a funnel, again, I can do that for you. And proceed with the rest of the onboarding sequence of getting them everything they need. And then after that, begin the upsell. I added this section here because this is all what funnel operating is about. I know I've been saying a lot about coaches and consultants if you're watching this video, but if you are not a coach or a consultant, if you are some kind of operator right now, if you do growth operating or info scaling, you know what it's like to just find that bottleneck in the business, or try to find that bottleneck in the business without any kind of solid ground. So what funnel operating really does is it allows you to go into any kind of person's backend system with something up front. You have the promise of giving them a high converting funnel. You basically give them this funnel for free. Maybe you charge them for $1,000 if you have a lot of case studies and you're a very recognized, trustworthy person. You give them a funnel, a high converting funnel that converts 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% more leads, cuts CAC by 50, 30, 15% more, whatever it is. And then once they have gained your trust in that you can provide results for this person, especially if they are, a big coach or consultant, it really allows you to take that next step in not only building up the funnel, but upselling to the next level by just taking over their entire backend, which not only makes you more money, but also makes the coach or the client or the lead more money as well, which is super, super important. So to recap, basically, what you're going to do is build out a funnel and then upsell from there, provide some value up front, build some trust with this lead, turn them into a client, and then take over the rest of their backend, which makes you more money and also makes the client even more money, which establishes more of a long-term relationship besides just building a funnel or just going into their social media blindly trying to find something to solve. Have an established system. Start with a funnel and go up from there. That is why funnel operating works so well, and that is why I started coining that term and using it in the first place, because having something to provide upfront, giving value, giving is so important because it builds trust. So please, if you are doing or interested in funnel operating, please start with a funnel, or growth operating. Please start with a funnel. It will save you so much time and it will help you so much in the long run. So if you enjoyed this, if you are, again, an info scaler, maybe a coach or consultant, or a growth operator, whatever it is, please like and subscribe. And if you want to see the next steps in this funnel operating process, please comment if you want to see that. So thank you guys so much for your time, and I will see you in the next one.